The very early years of my growing up were the best because my parents were there and we had a kitchen table. My mother was a good cook, and I remember making gingerbread men at the table. My father would go hunting for deer, bow hunting, and bring in deer meat, which and so everything kind of revolved. And I noticed it still does. It revolves around the kitchen. That's where there's always this connection between food and stories. And so right now we're kind of, all of us are sequestered by, I hope not by fear, but yeah, for protection, in our homes around the kitchen table. So I'm going to read this poem called Perhaps the World Ends Here. And I don't have sometimes I have a big story about how a poem came to be written, and often they surprise me. And this one I can remember sitting down and just moving. And that's what I like about poetry, is that it's like you kind of hook into some place. There can be an emotional stream, there can be an idea, there can be a phrase, there can be something you've been reading historically. And this one, I don't know, once I had that line, the world begins at a kitchen table, because in a way it does. It becomes the center. It can be the center place, the place where we eat food. I was thinking what human beings do. Why are we here? What do? We go out and collect stories. That's what humans do. Insects do other things. Everybody's got their own thing they do. Well, we go out and collect stories. I think that was a good first line. I mean, I'm not, because it opens you up to all kinds of possibility. This experience with the coronavirus is, we all kind of knew something was coming. We're all going along, I think, in this country and the world, knowing that we've transgressed and we've come to a particular place. And we've all been kind of on edge because of the climate change and economic instabilities, and we could all feel this. I just didn't know it was going to happen this way. Here we are. This is a changing point in society, and we've been at this. We've been at this precipice of change. And so the question we all have to ask is, are we happy with our home being divided? Are we happy with, relatives, not talking to us because we're not their religion? Or are we no, this is not how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be all sitting around the kitchen table, and we can have our differences. I've loved classes that I've taught where people are from all over the world, and we're all sitting there, and what joins us together is poetry, or a story, a good story, or good food. The world begins at a kitchen table. No matter what, we must eat to live. The gifts of earth are brought in prepared, set on the table. So it has been since creation, and it will go on. We chase chickens or dogs away from it. Babies teethe at the corners. They scrape their knees under it. It is here that children are given instructions on what it means to be human. We make men at it. We make women. At this table, we gossip. We call enemies and the ghost of lovers. Our dreams drink coffee with us. As they put their arms around our children, they laugh with us at our poor, falling down selves. And as we put ourselves back together once again at the kitchen table. This table has been a house in the rain, an umbrella in the sun. Wars have begun and ended at this table. It is a place to hide in the shadow of terror, a place to celebrate the terrible victory. We have given birth on this table and have prepared our parents for burial here. At this table, we sing with joy, with sorrow. We pray of suffering and remorse. We give thanks. Perhaps the world will end at the kitchen table, where we are laughing and crying, eating of the last sweet bite.